Did you see those clear skies 2 days in a row? Feels good to be here with you and to be here drawing breath on this beautiful Sunday morning. Good morning, Renaissance Unity. It is so good to be with you and with you too who are tuned in. I know Reverend Glenn's message that's ahead for all of us will light us on fire like never before this morning. I'm reading a book, and every time I do this, at least Stuart and about 4 others of you, before I even sit down, I get the text message, who's the author? What's the name of that book again? So I'm going to give it to you at the front end. Before you know it, and the author is Dr. John Bargh, powerful book that is rewriting what we know about consciousness and unconsciousness. So that's what I want to call us into this morning. I don't know if you're familiar with the indigo bunting. I don't know if you're familiar with this bird. It's really popular here and all the way to the East Coast. And what makes the indigo bunting so unique is, do you know that it uses the imprint of the stars to be able to navigate its way when it flies at night? And it was so fascinating to scientists, they decided to study it. So they hatched these beautiful blue birds, and they created and raised them in a planetarium so that they could set any setting of stars they wanted to. Now, we don't realize this when we're standing here in 2023, but the stars today do not align like the stars did 500 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, or 1,500 years ago. The sky is constantly changing. So they wanted to study this bird. So they changed the sky in the planetarium at night. And as the birds would go to look for the sky, the fake sky in the planetarium, they would have to walk across this little ink pad that would ink up their little feet. And they would study what those birds would do as they learned about the new sky that had been presented to them that night in the planetarium. And do you know, as they took in the new sky, they ordered their feet, their steps, in a way that would align their flight path. So when we talk about, now I think of the indigo and Zeta, Phi, Beta, not to offend our Delta sisters who might be here either. But there is a powerful message in the story of this bird that is applicable to all of us. We're constantly reminding each of us that within us is the divine imprint, the divinity within, not something that separates us, but something that is always there. Well, it's evident here, this little bird that is able to navigate and to order its steps with its highest purpose, its destination. It's a gentle reminder for all of us. Now, that reminder also shows up every time Reverend Wilma or Reverend Glenn speak and share their message on Sundays with us. The power of us masterminding together. We have a member of our community who is going through some difficult times, real challenging times. And his mastermind request, we meet every Wednesday night in a prayer call. He had done everything he could to take care of this water bill. And you know, he had done everything. He had met with the staff. He offered to have a payment arrangement. He had sought and done all that was his to do. And he ran into that guy who runs the water department. I won't mention the city, but the city of Oak Park in Illinois has a familiar city here in Michigan that sounds like the same name. I don't know which city that is, but so he had to go to court. And he was fearful, but he was also faithful, because last year on Wednesday night, he had also come in prayer around his diagnosis of cancer, colon cancer. And you know, after he had had the colon cancer and the surgery, and he got the opportunity to learn that he was cancer-free, a water bill just didn't seem to be that much of a thing. And he masterminded on that Wednesday night for the relief of that bill. And he posted it on Facebook, just praying for an answer as he went into court. Now, he's about my age, and somebody who he's not been in contact with, that he went to school with, high school with, paid his bill off in full. In full. And he had no idea where that was going to come from. No idea. I mastermind with Reverend Glenn regularly. We were together on Friday. And he said, Brett, I want you to share some of these stories. I said, Reverend Glenn, you say jump, I say how high. And here I am jumping. So in October, I had my annual physical. And some of you know and have heard my demonstration, the miracle of having 2 masses in my colon and going in for surgery. And the same surgeon who did the surgery I just spoke about was my surgeon. And when he went in to look for mine, there was nothing there. And he jumped up and down and was not happy with the radiologist, and it was a miracle for me. But I had my blood panel in October. And my blood panel disappointed me. It wasn't the lotto numbers I wanted. I mean, my triglycerides were 771. And if you're a nurse or a doctor in this audience, you know if you play doctor by Google, they stop at 500 and they have nothing good to say if your numbers are that high. So I took it to my mastermind group, did what was mine to do, and believed and set it aside that something would happen. And he said, can you put up last Friday, February 3rd, my triglycerides were 771 on October 22nd, and they were 115 on February 3rd. I have no idea how that happened. But I do know that what I did was trust in what we believe in. I know that where 2 or more are gathered, miracles can happen. And I don't care what your miracle is that you're seeking, you can rise and ask and receive no matter what. I don't care if your name is Tyree Nichols. If your family is standing in the trauma of what has happened, there can be a healing for all. We can breathe into it, we can believe into it, and we can stand into it. There is nothing in your life that is going on right now that you cannot solve and see the miracle with. I promise you it's the truth. It's not my word. It's the demonstration of the indigo bunting. Allow the skies to be rearranged for you and find your compass and your destination. So if you're ready to do that this morning, will you rise as we share our affirmation of truth together? Together, I am a divine expression of love. I am aware of the presence of Spirit in all things. I believe in my divine good and in the powerful promise that connects us all. I live consciously and commit to being a light wherever I am. I am, you are, and we are reflections of perfection. Greet some of those reflections around you this morning.